your love. I'm gonna make you mine. There's something special about your love. I think it's one of a kind.
Morning. It is the next day and I'm heading home. Super excited to be heading home. There's like a release that you feel like everybody was okay. You know, everybody maintained. A nice feeling to be like clocked out. I don't have to think about this place for another 12 hours or so. It's an amazing feeling, you know. What a good night. And what is a good night for a nurse? A good night for a nurse is no code blues, no patients that were like, you know, no matter what, you know, like sometimes you have like patients that you're just like, oh, you do everything for them, right? And then like, oh, I don't have apple juice. You don't have apple juice, you know, and you're like, really? Like everything else the night was perfect, and the apple juice, that's what triggered you. The apple juice is what triggered you. Okay. But you know, it was a good night. Hope tonight can be the same way, but you never know. Assignments could change, you could float. It's a whole new world. Next shift could be completely different. So patients that you were like, oh, they were so calm. Next time you come in, they could be jumping out of bed, you know, jumping out of the bed, like screaming. You're like, what happened? But you never know what's gonna, you know, what the next shift will bring. But it's over and done with. Heading home. Like my eyebrows are like sweaty because I have a face shield and all this stuff. It's just like, oh my god, I can't wait to be like home. I washed my hands and everything like that. People were like, you know, don't touch your face until you get home. Are you washing your hands? Wash your hands, you know, but I'm not touching my face and all that stuff. With like COVID hands, you know. Another really good technique, if you do have chlorhexidine, like scrubs, like, you know, those like scrubbing, like that you scrub the, like a port with. If you have those like loose ones, scrub underneath your nails like before you leave work. Like I love to do that. I feel like I'm doing like an extra step for cleanliness. But I wanted to I wanted to share a story that just happened to me a while ago when I was walking to my car in the parking garage. So, you know, flashback to last night. I overheard some coworkers talking about this was a coworker's words. You know, I don't understand the whole Black Lives Matter thing. You know, all lives matter. That's what it is. You know, all lives matter. You know, it doesn't make sense. And some people you just can't educate, you know. And just because the person is a minority, don't assume that they're on the same agenda as you. Don't assume they have the same goal as you, mission as you, purpose as you, will as you. Don't assume that just because they're a minority. They might be a different type of minority, might have a different skin tone. They could be your own race, okay? So don't assume they're gonna have that same heart that you have. It's like, all lives matter, we understand that, but Black Lives Matter right now because there's a whole lot of stuff going on to Black lives. Now, okay, fast forward. So we just did the rewind. Now fast forward to what happened when I was walking to the parking garage. So we're in the parking garage, me and another coworker of mine, and this woman is driving the wrong way. There's literally like signs that tell you which direction to drive, but she's driving the wrong way. So she goes around, and she comes back around driving the wrong way, and I'm like, what is this woman doing? So I, you know, tell her to come over, right? This woman, she drives over like cautiously. Okay, she wasn't speeding before, but like now that I called her over, she's driving cautiously. Then she fumbles to lock her door. Her window's down, but she fumbles to lock her door. mind you, like when I get in the car, I take off my scrub top, right? Mind you, I'm wearing a full-on scrub. Okay, there's things I take off, when I start to record. But I had the bonnet on my head. I have this bonnet, and then on top of it, I have another bonnet. Okay, so I have the surgical bonnet. I had my N95. I had surgical mask on top of that to talk to her. Right? What else did I have on? Oh, I had my jacket, which is still another scrub colored jacket. What do you think I would be doing to you if I called you over to ask you something? Okay? You are confused. You are literally lost. Don't know where you're going. I'm trying to assist you. Yet you come over here like, oh my God, is she gonna rob me? Don't you see I'm coming from work? I'm gonna rob you. You not at work, you come in here. Okay, you come into my hospital to get tested. Don't you think that if I was gonna rob somebody, I wouldn't be robbing them in my uniform? But that's when skin color dictates your behavior. Okay? Not my behavior. It dictates your behavior. Okay? So you looked at me. There was something about me that made you scared, apprehensive, whatever it is. You had an emotion towards me. And it can't be my uniform that caused you to be apprehensive. It must be my skin color. So when we say Black Lives Matter, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about that our skin color, okay, just the extra bit of melanin that you don't have, okay, that our melanin, something that is in our DNA, a part of us, okay, something that we cannot just be like, oh, in the application we were like, oh, I don't need that. No, that's a part of us. Caused you to forget that you are coming here and you need assistance, but I'm gonna be scared, I'm gonna be cautious, I'm gonna be apprehensive, I'm gonna lock the door just because you saw me. And could be wrong, but I'm 99% sure that if I didn't have melanin, if I was one of the light people out there in the world, that she would have driven over to me with no problem, asked me what she was asking, okay, and it would have been okay. Alright? I could understand if there was apprehension because you're like, you know what, there's a language barrier, but there are Spanish-speaking individuals of all skin color, okay? And what she asked me in English, I responded to her in Spanish, okay? So when we say Black Lives Matter, that's what we're talking about, okay? Because my skin color shouldn't cause you any issues, okay? It shouldn't force you to act any way differently than you would have acted towards someone else who is not my skin color. Black Lives Matter. Don't let anybody fool you. Black Lives Matter. Okay? So, brush it off my shoulders. Things like that have become the norm, unfortunately. It doesn't make me, feel broken inside. It's just like, unfortunately, those are the things that kind of make people harder. And, it's just a day and day, it's a day in, day out of what Black people go through. And that's what when I heard my coworker say that last night, it was like, you know what, you would never understand, you will never know, you will never be able to experience it, So when you have never experienced and never walked in the Don't speak on things that you don't know about. And I feel like that's kind of what you did last night. But I don't talk politics at work. It's one thing I learned. I made that mistake one time. Okay? And not everybody comfortable with politics. Not everybody comfortable with world news and all that stuff. Not everybody's culture the way you're cultured. So I leave those type of speeches, those talks, those conversations. I leave that at home. I leave that amongst my friends. I leave that amongst, people that are just not in the workplace. Because those conversations can get uncomfortable. And you got to see these people day in, day out. So I leave that alone. But, debating, I have no problem with that. I can meet you on the street and that's fine. And we could have, had like a social conversation outside of work, but just in work, I avoid those conversations, because people are going to be like, Lisa, why you didn't tell her? Why you didn't tell her Black Lives Matter? I go to where I work. I was going to say the hospital. I go there to work, get paid, save lives, because that's what I love to do. Take care of people. That's why I go there for. I don't go there to have no conversation with people that at the end of it, their minds are not going to change, unfortunately. So I keep those conversations to a minimum. So yeah, man, I'm so excited to go home. Yeah, so excited. I hope your day when you're watching this is amazing, because my day is going to be filled with, well, hopefully it's going to be filled with lots of sleep, so
I think it's one of a kind. There's something special about your love. I want it all the time. You will always be my inspiration.